Thank you, Senator Schatz, and let me thank all of our witnesses for their testimony. Madam Secretary, I'm going to start with you, and if you want to refer any of these questions to your legal counsel, please feel free to do so. And I want to associate myself with the comments I heard Senator Kaine make and you, Madam Secretary, in your response that getting rid of the 2002 AUMF is important to send a message to the Iraqi people and the Iraqi government that we are partners and not adversaries, as we were with the government that was there under Saddam Hussein at the time that authorization was passed. Some questions just so I understand this administration's thinking. Would you agree, Madam Secretary, that other than the President's powers under Article 2, the President does not have authority to launch military strikes against Iran?
I take that as a legal question, so I'm going to defer to Mr. Visick and to Ms. Kress.
Mr. Visick?
Thank you, Senator. Our position is the 2002 AUMF does not authorize strikes against Iran. Not to confuse them, I would note, however, that I believe it may have been Senator Kaine who talked about ancillary defenses, where if we were carrying out a 2001 operation and came under attack by whatever force it might be, that was not the subject of the 2001 mission, we would obviously be able to defend ourselves in the context of operating.
Well, just so I understand, you're saying that you're invoking an other than Article 2 power there?
It would be
under the 2001 AUMF, is that what you're suggesting?
It's the concept of ancillary self-defense, that when our military engages in authorized missions, this instance would be a 2001 AUMF mission against, let's say, ISIS. If they came under attack from whatever source collaterally, they would.
So I'm not, look, this is a pretty direct question. I understand the legal responses can be technical. I'm an attorney, but we have the 2001 AUMF, as you well know, as has been stated here, relates to ISIS and its successors, right? Iran is not ISIS or one of its successors, is it?
No, it is not.
So other than Article 2, does the President have any authority to launch military strikes against the state of Iran? Pretty simple question.
Senator, the 2001 does not authorize strikes against Iran. I would agree with that. And nor does the 2002 authorize strikes again.
Correct. Iran. And so are there any authorities left other than Article 2?
Senator, with the caveat of what I admit is a sort of nuanced ancillary defense argument, I take your point. Neither the 2001 nor the 2002 nor the 1991 AUMFs authorized the use of force against Iran.
Got it. Okay. I didn't think it would take so much time to get to this point, so with your indulgence, I'm going to keep asking some additional questions. Now I'm trying to explore what the President believes is his scope of authority under Article 2. And of course, presidents do have the authority to take preemptive strikes in the case of an imminent attack. Agreed?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. And you're familiar with the Caroline Doctrine that was reaffirmed by the Nuremberg trials after World War II, correct?
I am familiar with the Caroline case. It goes back to 1837.
Right. And does this administration, the Biden administration, subscribe to the standard regarding preemptive attacks that is laid out in the Caroline Doctrine?
Senator, I would want to consult with my colleague here from DOD. I would have to talk to others. This was not a question that I necessarily came equipped to answer, and I would desperately like to get it right.
All right. Counsel from Defense. Thank you.
I similarly would like to get it right, and I joined the administration just this week, and so I would want to have those conversations as well.
All right. If you could get back to me in writing, because as you know, in past administrations, we've had the theory of preventative war. which doesn't contain the important ingredients of imminence that is in the Caroline Doctrine. So I'm very interested in understanding what the Biden administration's position is with respect to the Caroline Doctrine.
Well, Senator, we do have the authority to respond to an imminent threat, but I take your point and that you're interested in other...
I'm not disputing that.
Right.
I'm stating that.
Yes.
I'm asking whether your definition of that standard is the Caroline Doctrine. If I could just ask a couple questions regarding the attack on the Mercer recently, which is, I understand it is a Japanese-owned ship under Israeli management, and 2 innocent people were killed, a British citizen and a Romanian citizen. And I saw the Secretary Blinken's response saying that we were going to hold Iran responsible and accountable. I agree they should be held accountable. My question, Madam Secretary, is not what you will do, not what you may do, but what you believe you have the scope of authority to do. Does Article 2 give the President any authority to take military action against Iran in response to the attack on the Mercer?
I would have to defer to Mr. Visick or Ms. Crass as a legal matter. What I want to say, though, is that in this instance, as the Secretary said, we are really relying on our British colleagues to take the lead on this, since it is, in fact, their ship, even though it was originally Japanese, and because a UK and a Romanian citizen were killed. So we are letting the British take the lead, both at the UN in terms of what the response would be, as well as any further response. I do think it was quite critical that we had a coordinated attribution that this was indeed Iran.
Okay, let me just refine that question a little bit, if I could, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the response, here we have a partner, we have a NATO partner, of course, the Brits, but it doesn't seem to fall under Article 2 response authority, other than maybe invoking some other multilateral agreement like NATO Charter or some UN Security Council resolution. Would you, I'm trying to get a sense of what the administration believes its authorities are in terms of military response in a strike like this against a non-U.S. entity, but a close U.S. friend.
And Senator, subject to my colleagues' views, this would be a situation where we would assemble with the interagency, we would talk about the facts, the circumstances, such factors of attribution, any of a number of factors before I would even want to venture an opinion as to whether or not there was an Article 2 basis, and obviously we would look to the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel. I'm not aware of any, nobody has asked me whether this is covered by Article 2 as of yet, if that is helpful.
Got it. Thank you. That is. Mr. Chairman, do you want to make any closing remarks? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for presiding. There's